Alright, hello? Everybody hear me? This is really weird. Alright. Wow. Okay. So, hey everybody, sorry for that. That's really weird. So, um, just to give you an idea of what happened, um, I don't know how this happened, but I've had these headphones for years, and the mic has never worked with my Mac ever. Um, and when I stream, I always just use the microphone that's built in. And you all know lately when I stream from home, I don't even have these headphones plugged in. I have them plugged into my phone. Um, but for some reason, even when I unplug these headphones, my Mac is looking for this microphone. So I guess I'm going to keep these plugged in and this microphone on, and I'm going to use this one. And then later on, I'll maybe test it out. So really sorry about that. It's never happened to me before. So I mean, it's cool that this mic works now. Just was definitely a surprise because I didn't download any updates recently. Nothing changed. All right. So yeah, really sorry about that. Wasted a good 5 minutes on there. So let me redo my intro. And so what we're gonna do today is we will work on preparing for an upcoming talk that I'm giving. And the talk is going to be about how to set up React to pull data from WordPress using GraphQL. And so we need to get a presentation done, and maybe we may do a demo, like a demo Git repository, and have branches for each stage of our build. So I think we'll see. We'll see how fast we go. But I think both of those things will definitely be helpful. And for the presentation, I'm actually going to use a React project to do my slides. And then we'll host them. I'll have to see what I'm going to host them with. But we'll have them put up in live, hopefully by the end of the stream. And that way I can run them locally on my computer if there's not really a good network connection, or I can just pull up the website, and then whoever's there at the talk can pull up the website as well and follow along. Alright, so I'm going to check the chat really quick just to make sure everybody is hearing me and there's no questions. Harshit says Netlify. Nikki says Netlify. Maybe we'll use Netlify. That's definitely an option for deployment. Nikki says, is it the Siberia V2 with plugs or with USB? I just unplugged my mic plug. Yeah, it's the plug, but when I unplug it, it doesn't pick up anything. It's like, it should automatically detect that it's unplugged and then go with the built-in mic. But it's not for some reason. Maybe my computer is due for an update, so maybe after I stream, I'll do an update, restart everything, and then see if that clears it up, right? I mean, turn it off and turn it on. That's the way to fix it, right? Okay. Harshit says, with Netlify, if you push, it will automatically redeploy. That will be handy. Yeah, it will, definitely. All right, so first thing, let me show you the notes that I have already for the talk. Basically, an outline of here's the things that I definitely want to focus on, and here's the things that I need to mention, but there's not going to be time to focus on. So I believe, and I probably should double check. Let me double check how much time I have. I think I only have half an hour, but it would be good to know for sure, because we definitely need to factor in like an estimate of how long this is going to take, and then we can cut down on the content if needed. The way I like to do it is I like to have more prepared than I'll probably be able to get through, and then just say, okay, these are the core things that I absolutely have to talk about. And then if I end up having more time, these are the things that I would like to talk about. So I have those lined up so that I never hit a point where I say, oh, that's it, all done, and, just wait. So that's also a good way to do it, because you never know what's going to happen with questions. Um, so, you may end up having less time than you even thought because of questions or technical difficulties. So if you make sure that you kind of front load your talk with all the things that are necessary, then you make sure you end up having a talk that sounds complete, even if you know have less time. So I am just searching for my email that tells me how long I have for this. Which found it. So my emails for this are a little confusing, because I at first I got rejected but put on the wait list for this conference, and then I got another set of emails that said, hey, you're off the wait list, can you do this? But then there are also some questions about whether or not I could even complete this talk in the given amount of time. So while I'll bring up my notes now, and then I'll show it to you all on the screen if they will come up. It's a bit slow. Everything runs a bit slow when I'm streaming, so be a little bit longer than normal. All right, so I'm gonna copy and paste these notes and put them in a Google Doc, because right now they're in Google Keep, and I think it'll just be easier to read in a different format. Okay, almost ready. Because I don't want to leave Google Keep open either, because it tends to take a lot of resources, and I don't want resources to be spent on something that I don't really need to have open, when I like everything to go into making sure that the stream runs fast. So I'm just adjusting the font. There we go. I think that'll be big enough. Okay. All right, cool. So there it is. Let me know if that font's still too small and if you can read it. And here's the plan. So for those of you who happen to have been watching my free code camp series for project 5 that we've been working on, this will be a little bit more familiar to you, because we've been doing this process. if you're not familiar with the process, that's okay, because we're basically going to go through it. So you'll learn the process during today's stream. And here's what I just kind of what I was thinking. So as a prerequisite for this, you need to have npm, Node, React, Next, and WordPress all set up and installed. I don't really think that I need to go into that during my talk, or even I'd like to have some videos available, and this potentially could serve as like a video step by step. But the reason I don't need to go over that is that there are already guides. These are all pretty basic things to set up, and there are already guides to help you do this. And it's not hard. I mean, it's in the documentation for these. So, and odds are, if somebody didn't know how to do these things already, they're probably not quite ready to handle this project. So people who are interested in doing something like this most likely know how to do that. So I think it's safe to say we can skip that, and that'll save us a lot of time. I'd like to briefly just explain the setup for GraphQL, WP GraphQL, the plugin, and Apollo. So that's another thing where there's a lot of documentation. WP GraphQL is just a plugin. Installation is not that different from any WordPress plugin. There's only like one extra step that you need to do. That's not that hard, so maybe I'll just mention or show that step and then kind of save time on that. What I do want to spend some time on, though, is the GraphQL queries. So how to write a GraphQL query, and then how to pull that into a component. So at first we did it with this this last project that we worked on, Project 5. We switched halfway through and started doing it kind of the newer way with that query component. So I'd like to show how to do that, so definitely show an example of that code and explain how that process works, and then explain a little bit about how to deploy with now. So I would like to get users to the point where they could actually deploy something that works. So I'm going to leave the WordPress installation up to the user to decide how they want to do it. In Project 5, we're doing kind of a much more complicated WordPress setup, and you don't really need that. This could be a one-click WordPress install on shared hosting. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. But I would like to show how to deploy with now, because it's so easy, and that potentially might be something that my audience may not know about. So here's what I'd like to do to prep. I don't think all this is absolutely necessary, but I'd love to do that. So I definitely want to have a fully functional version working, so that I could say, like, here's what you get at the end, and here's all the code to do it, right? So all that needs, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It just needs to be able to display something. Maybe like, let's just set it up like a blog, right? And then it needs to, if I'm going to do that and have the code, then I may as well save branches at various stages so that people can, work. You know how tutorials work sometimes, where it'll say, like, okay, start here and then do these steps. And if you can't figure it out, like, just check out the next branch, right? And that'll show you everything. So users could kind of have their own comfort level in terms of what they want to do themselves and what they want to just use from the repo. We're going to do the slides, and definitely want some important code on slides. So definitely like the queries and our React components definitely need to be on slides, and then probably just some screenshots of or code samples of the commands you use for now. And I'm not going to go over how to set up now. I'm going to leave that to the documentation. And then I would like to include a section. So I'll have one section that'll say, like, here's all the prerequisites you need, and then another section at the end to say, like, if you want to do more, here's what you can do. So we could talk about, like, custom post types, custom fields, custom routing. We can talk about, like, live search. And we could mention, if you can actually run WordPress on now, you can host the servers on cloud hosting and all the files on cloud hosting. So that's where I'll just briefly mention. And that's the part that I'll say, hey, if I have more time, I'll explain all these things. If I don't, I'll just let everybody see the slide and they can research it on their own. So this is going to be a really nice kind of filler at the end if I need it, because as some of you know, those topics are like huge, right? You can there could be whole talks, on each one of those things. And then the last thing is, it would be cool to have video tutorials like separated out, really kind of nicely done. If I can't do that and I don't have time, which I don't think I will have time right now, I could potentially have time after the fact, then this stream can definitely serve to show users, like, here's how we do this. Okay, so now that you all know the plan, I like to explain the plan to everyone, because I want your feedback. I want to know if you think there's a better way to do this, or whatever you think about it. So this is my plan, but it's changeable. I'm flexible. All right, so let me take a drink. This is my espresso over crushed ice. I've been drinking this a lot lately in the mornings. So it's pretty good. Nothing else in it. Just plain espresso and ice. All right. Let me read the last few things that were in that live chat, and then we'll get started. Definitely want to make sure I get any feedback now at the beginning. Let's see. Oh, okay. Harshit wants some feedback on a card component. Yeah, well, I'll check that out a little bit later. Let me know if the mic's too loud. It looks like it's getting pretty high up in the, like, decibel meter or whatever they have here on OBS. So I don't want it to be too loud. So just let me know how that is. All right. Well, let me think. What should we do first? How about let's start the slides first, and we'll kind of add placeholder slides, and then that'll give us a good idea of, like, hey, we need to make sure we screen capture this part of the process of development, because we need something to go here. Then we'll see how we're doing on time, and then maybe we can go over to actually building a demo of this project. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to check out GitHub, because I have two options that we can go with for slides. So one of them I've already done before for my November slides. So let's go into my repositories, and I'll increase the font size as well. Okay. I need to clean up my repos. I don't understand how I have 52 repos. Some of them have to just be forks that I never did anything with. Okay, so not that one. Slides. Okay, so I forked a repo from Kyle Welch, and he had some slides here. So potentially we could use his setup, or I could go back and use the setup that I did for November. And I did do it as a, no, that wasn't it. November gas, yeah. No, it wasn't that. It was, maybe it was. I didn't think it was though. Um, all right. Yeah. All right, let's check it out. I didn't think I named it that. Oh no, security vulnerabilities. Nah, this isn't it. There's no way. Let's see. Yeah, this is not it. So where is it? Hmm. Talk. Um, I guess it's possible that I never pushed it to GitHub. That's wild. Yeah, but it definitely would have been after these. So, yeah. All right, well, really glad that I have a fork of Kyle stuff. That's too bad. I really hope I didn't lose the code for that completely. Actually, you know what? Let's check out my projects folder, because if I didn't push it to GitHub, it has to be somewhere. So I bet it is still in my projects folder on my local machine. November slides. It is. Yay. All right. So let's just do this. Let's open that project. In Visual Studio Code, and I will pull it over here to the screen so we can all see it. For anybody that's watching this that isn't familiar with my live streams, uh, all my live streams are unrehearsed, and we do make decisions on the fly. We do a lot of stuff. Um, we change our minds in the middle of it. So, and it is very collaborative. So if it seems like I don't know what I'm doing, it's partially correct. I sometimes I don't really know the direction things are going to take. So if you really don't like that style, I totally understand. You can either watch this, the recording of this, and skip around to where I'm actually doing something, or you can check out a lot of other tutorials and things that are online. I definitely recommend a lot of the other videos on Free Code Camp, and I do have some tutorials that are a little bit more put together. So not really offended if that's your opinion. Um, but just want to let you know it's kind of how it works. Okay, so here are my slides. So let's get out our package JSON just to see what we're working with. So for this package JSON, we have React, obviously, and what using Spectacle? Is that what I ended up using? Spectacle. Okay. And then we launched with Surge. Oh, I see. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then for a presentation, um, we have an index page, and literally all your slides just go on this index page. All right, you don't have to do it like that. Your slides could all be separate components, but this slideshow was really small enough that it worked. So that's how we did it. And then you just have really basic color theme. So we could go with that, or we could go with this setup, and this is also, actually this is using Spectacle. I thought it was the same thing. Okay, so we could go with this. This is using, I believe, a newer version, I would think. Package JSON, Spectacle, 222, Spectacle 4.0. That's weird. Interesting. Alright, well let's go and... I thought you'd use the Spectacle boilerplate. That's what I did. I probably just directly cloned the Spectacle boilerplate for this project and just worked on it. Alright. Let's grab the latest version of the Spectacle boilerplate. As long as it's not too different, I think it'll be fine. So this is from Formidable Labs. And let's open the documentation while we're at it. And that way we can see. So I'm going to put a link to the docs in there. So here's Spectacle docs. So they recommend using Spectacle boilerplate, so you can also install Spectacle and write everything yourself. But like, why? Why would we do that, right? We don't need any crazy custom stuff in here. So let's just use the boilerplate. Let's see how long ago. Let's check out our releases. Oh, there are no releases, so we don't have. So I'm not sure when the version was. Trying to think if this has actually been updated 2 years ago, 6 months ago. Even this one 6 months ago might not have been. Yeah, that we may actually have like the version. Let's check out the package JSON. That'll probably be the best way to see. Yeah, yeah, I think we're fine. Let's double check version of React. Yep, I think this is fine. It's the same one. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, well, let's take, I want to clone this, or I want to fork this first. Alright, so now we have this here. So if we do need to make any changes, we have our own fork now. We could change things. We could do a pull request. So let's see. What we're gonna do. Download this. let's go back to, oh, I never brought over my my terminal. Let me bring my terminal over, and let's go here, and I guess we will, don't want to clone this. No, I don't. I don't really want to do that. Let's, I'm not really sure the best way to do this, but I think I'm just going to download the zip. Basically what I want to do is clone this onto my local machine and then have a completely new repo that just uses this boilerplate. What's the easiest way for me to do that? If I clone it, then it'll be connected to this repo, so I don't really want to go through like resetting the remotes and all that stuff. Alright, so we'll just try it like this. We'll just make a directory, and we can call this React WP GraphQL slides. Okay. And nope, that should not be in the November directory. So let's go back out here. So let's just go cd dot and alright. So that should have chained those together, and let's just verify. React WP GraphQL slides. Yep, there we go. Okay, so when you're in the terminal, at least on a Mac and in Linux, you can use these double ampersands, and it'll chain together commands. So I wanted to cd out and then do this command. I was in the wrong directory when I first typed it, so that'll work. All right. So now let me go to Finder, because it will be easier from Finder. In Finder, what I'm going to do is take that. If you're not familiar with Mac, like, it's just, Finder's just your file system, just the graphical interface, so like this, right? So here's our, it's going to be hard to see, but we have right now nothing. It's pretty much empty, and we're going to take what we downloaded here, which is zipped right now, so we're going to unzip it, which basically you just double click it on a Mac and it unzips it automatically. And then we're going to take all of the stuff that's in that folder and we're going to put it over here. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to open it up in Visual Studio Code. Wonderful. And so we have this now in Visual Studio Code. Let's get our view set up so that we can see our terminal. So we have our terminal. I always like to run two, and then that way if I have like a watch or something, or like run a server, I can see it over here, and then I can still run commands over here. So we can see, right, this is not a Git repo right now, but it's all set up so that it can be a Git repo, right? First thing we do need to do though is run yarn to make sure everything gets installed properly. So we're going to run yarn. You can do an npm install if you'd like, but this particular project already has a yarn lock, so I prefer going with that. If I saw that it had the npm lock file, I probably would just stick with npm. So we'll just wait a minute for this to do its thing. I gotta make sure I remember to check my messages, see if I get any messages from work. So I have everything shut off on my computer so it doesn't waste any resources. So any work messages will come on my phone. Oh, also, I just remembered one of my tutorial videos from this channel is now also on the Free Code Camp channel, so that's pretty cool. Feel free to watch it in either place. Wow, if this is going to take a really long time, maybe I'll think of something else to do. Alright, so I just got a message. I want to share this with you all. I just got a message from a fellow developer that used to live really close to me and now lives near Pittsburgh, like really close in Pittsburgh. Just said, "Are you?" Asked if I was speaking at Tech Fest. Like, uh, that's awesome. So I just let him know that I am prepping my slides for that right now live. That's cool. All right. Well, this is going to take a little while. So while that's doing its thing, um, let's just check this out. Let's see. I do believe I still have this up, right? The spectacle documentation, just to give us an idea of what we're going to do. So this is why we went with Surge before, because this project is set up to just auto deploy on Surge. So that's what we want to do. It does have some controls built in, so this is really nice to use something pre-built if you want to build your slides as like a web app. Then these are all things you would have to put in yourself, right? You'd have to map out what that is on the keyboard and things like that. This is already built in, so really nice. You can even export as a PDF. Really, really kind of cool. So I definitely recommend using this. All right, so I do have a few things in the live chat. Let me see. Nikki says, so now you have a project that's not in Git? Yeah, basically. We're gonna put it in Git though. But I didn't want to clone it because then it would be automatically tied into that fork that I made, right? And I want that to be just a fork of the boilerplate. I want to have a completely different Git repo for these slides. And probably, I'm not going to do it like right now during the stream, but I probably should have, I should put my November slides in a Git repo as well. Oh, cool. John Hansen says, I saw that video come up on Free Code Camp. It's a gem for sure. One of the best setup and repository clone videos. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, somebody commented on the video on Free Code Camp. The first comment was, just run git clone or something like that. And so I just commented, I gave him a thumbs up, and I commented and it said, "You just saved everybody like 29 minutes." So, I mean, really, yeah, that's how you do it. And then somebody else replied and said, like, yeah, but if you don't have Git installed already, like, you can't just run that, which is definitely true. So, yeah, so for those who are already, like, into that process, cloning a repo, probably not that difficult. But for somebody that's a complete beginner, I definitely think it's valuable to have a totally from scratch, if you don't even have anything installed on your computer yet, like, tutorial on how to do that. All right, so I think we're safe to close out this documentation for now. And we can close this out. And we can close this out. And this. And just have this up again. Waiting. Yeah, I mean, I love doing as much as I can live, but I maybe should have done this part beforehand, just because it's taking so long. I guess we can get some of the files open. So this is just putting in the node modules. So we can actually get started before that. We just won't be able to see what's happening because we won't be able to run the dev server until all this is finished. So we're going to import this. We're just going to use the default theme. If it seems like at some point, hey, maybe we should have a theme. Let's see. Current version of Yarn is out of date. All right. I'm not going to update that right now. That's not really a huge deal. All right, cool. So we have some stuff in here that's just kind of basic, just to show what it can do. So let's run that dev version. So let's split this screen and let me verify what the script is. Not build, deploy. No, not deploy. Starts. Yeah, dev. Okay. So we're going to run yarn start, and then we'll be able to see what this looks like right now. We'll be able to see the theme. Y'all know I like the dark theme for things, so I may end up using, dark slides for most of this. So let's check out on localhost what we have. I did have some stuff running on localhost before this earlier in the day, and I made sure I closed it out, so I'm glad I did that. Spectacle boilerplate, loading, there we go. So I decided to do the stream on my own channel because it didn't exactly fit with what we've been doing on Free Code Camp, but maybe I should have done it on Free Code Camp because I normally get a lot more viewers. So I'll have to keep that in mind for the next time. I think maybe just a lot of people don't realize that I'm streaming on my own channel, but they do get the notification from Free Code Camp. Alright, so Spectacle Boilerplate, cool. I'm just clicking on my arrow keys on my keyboard to go through here. Heading, lists, quotes. Alright, pretty cool. I mean, I like the colors and the theme, like they look nice, but let's see if we can get a dark theme in here. See if we can get a spectacle dark theme. And if I can get this in here and it'll only take a minute, it'll probably save us a lot of time. Oh, okay. Let's check this out. Yeah, let's check it out on GitHub, see if they actually have a picture. No, they don't. They don't have a site? Nothing? Oh, wow. Okay then. npm install spectacle theme Solarize dark. Alright, well let's try it out since it seems really easy to install. I guess we can try that. I just want to grab the name of it. Yarn add spectacle theme Solarize dark, and then to make sure we import that. So we're gonna import this theme. And just loading yet? How much do we need just for a theme? And then spectacle theme. Do we need to wrap everything in this spectacle component? I suppose we do. Initial theme. Hmm. It's actually pretty crazy that that's all it is. Alright, so now we have that theme. Ooh, what's going on here? Missing semicolon. They must have ESLint rules built in here. And so I guess we're going to get rid of this. Require. Okay. And all right, so I guess let's wrap this all in spectacle themes. You know what? Maybe this was for a older version of spectacle because that's not how they have this in here. All right, well let's just see what happens. Because now we do have a spot to put theme, so maybe it'll still work. So let's check out what it looks like. Oh, cool. So it did work. It's just slightly different implementation. That's really cool. Oh, that's not great. Um, but I don't mind like this. I think that's okay. So let's go with that. And I'm definitely not going to make use of this because that's pretty much unreadable on the lower fonts. Uh, so yeah, this type of theme is what I'm going to use. Cool. Actually, I think it would be really fun to make a theme. No, I'm not going to do it today, but that would be kind of cool to just kind of take this as the model and then customize the theme and put it out there. I don't know how many people are using Spectacle, but I mean, I could be helpful. Could be helpful for some people. All right, so that's cool. We have that, and I'm gonna go to my code. All right, so let's go to our code and start start doing something here. So we see here, if we want that dark color, it needs to be background color primary. I'm a little bit curious to see, like, if we just leave off background color, what does it default to? So let's see. It should auto update, but I just want to refresh to verify. Okay, cool. So we don't even have to put background color. If we want it to be primary, we can just leave it off, which is great. That's what I assumed would happen. All right, the text color is for the heading is secondary, so must be our secondary color. And then tertiary text color, the tertiary color is this. So these are pretty much the basic theme colors, which is good. I like that. So now, now we know, basically what we need. So let's just start changing some stuff. We're definitely, we can just take out this whole card. Actually, let's not take it out right now. Let's switch it up and make it more readable, and then that way we'll have a nice visual reference for all the different heading sizes. And we're just gonna change. Yeah, we don't need to change it. So after I save this, it should be. Oops. Typography. Slide. We removed that background, didn't we? I believe we did. There we go. Maybe I just didn't save it. Okay. See, so that's much more readable. So I think I'm going to leave. I mean, there's something to be said for variation in your slides, but if we go from a dark background directly into a much lighter background, I don't know what the room's like that I'm going to be speaking in, but if we're in a small, dark room, and then we go from a dark background to a light background, everybody's eyes are just going to get like assaulted, right, by that light. And then when we go back to a dark background, it's actually going to be harder to see because their eyes just had to get used to all this light. So I'm not going to mess with people's eyes back and forth. We're just going to go with standard dark background the whole way through. If that is boring to some people, then I apologize, but I'd rather risk being boring than killing people's retinas. AJ mentions in the stream here, will this talk be recorded? And appreciate all the streams. Well, thank you. And I don't know if it will be recorded. So here's my plan. I'm going to ask when I get there, I'll ask the organizers if they're recording talks. If they are, wonderful. I'll try to find out, if they're going to be put online and where, and I'll let you all know. If they're not recording, I'm going to ask if it's okay if I live stream the talk. And I'll live stream it here on my channel, and I'll just set up my phone to capture the stream. So I'll either get somebody to volunteer to do that, or I'll just set it up on a tripod somewhere and start it running, and then go up and start my talk. So that will depend a bit on the Wi-Fi. If the Wi-Fi is good enough, may not be the best quality stream, but as long as you can hear me, it should be okay because, of course, you'll have access to all the slides. So I think it'll work out. I'm actually kind of hoping that I can live stream it because I think that would be the fastest way for everybody to see it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, cool. So we have that, and then we can do the same thing with this example quote section, but we will just need to change that text. So let's do that. I like to leave a lot of the sample stuff in for as long as I can because it just gives me an idea for what I can work with. And it gives me code I can copy and paste. All right, so let's just switch this up so that the slide... all right, well, there we go. Let's change the background color. And we're just not even going to specify it. And then we're going to make that text color secondary. There we go. And now this should be better, more readable. Hey, you gonna refresh? There we go. Oh no, I thought I changed it. Maybe. Let's kind of manually put this color on then, on this quote, because it looks like the author's already fine. It already automatically gives us the right color. There we go. Okay. Example quote, author. Great. All right, so with these example slides, I love that little Pac-Man down at the bottom. I don't know if you noticed that, but way down at the bottom, when you change the slide, it's Pac-Man. He's like eating these dots, like the game. So with these example slides, these are the tools that we're going to use. The only other element that we'll be putting in there are we may import Prism and use that for some styling, some font stuff. I'm sorry, not some code stuff, right? You can Prism is a tool you can use to display code properly formatted and everything. So we may bring in Prism for code, or we may just use screenshots of code. We'll see how it goes. All right, so let's change the basics right now. And basics are just going to be. Actually, I got to figure out what was the name of my talk. I'm going to go on the website for this talk so I can see what they set my title as. Easy React Content Management with GraphQL and WordPress. And that is the title that I gave them. I kind of don't like it now that I see it, but I guess it's too late for that. Okay. I don't know how it's gonna look. It's just gonna be a lot. Oh, yeah, that's terrible. Wow, that's really bad. Okay, so here's what we'll do. um, content management. Why? There we go. Oh, okay, it's fine. It just didn't change. That's really small. All right, let's break that up. And we're going to do 2 headings. And we'll go Easy React Content Management. And then the second part is going to be with GraphQL and WordPress. And let's see how that looks. That may be better for us. Oh, why are you small? Why is this one so small? It shouldn't be small. Alright, so let me go back to where it was, and then I'll just look at these settings, because I think it says... We have some settings here, fit and bold. Let's see what fit does. Oops, that was the wrong one. Let's remove it from here. Fit. There we go. That's more of what I was going for. Okay. I mean, that still looks terrible, but it's more readable. So probably what we'll do then is just drop this down. So this heading size should be, let's try a 2. So I want it to be slightly smaller than that. Alright, Easy React Content Manager with GraphQL WordPress. Alright, that's better. I'm still not super happy with how this looks, but I don't want to get hung up on this, right? This is not the important part. People will see the slide just briefly. And in this part, what I'm going to do is wait until I actually get a URL for people to go to, and I'm going to put the URL right here, and make it a link, so that actually that makes no sense. Why would it be a link? I'm just going to put the URL right there, so people could. I'll leave a slide up. People can type in the URL and get to it. Okay. Slide 1 completed. Awesome. So we've only had to stream for 57 minutes to complete slide 1. Alright, so let's go back to here and just say, like, okay, what do we need, right? Let's do, here's what I'm going to leave out. I'm going to leave out the intro slide about me. Usually, I don't know if y'all have ever been to talks, but usually people start a talk and talk a little bit about themselves first. I'm not going to do that. Maybe I'll just say, like, I'm Jesse, I'm a front-end developer. If you want to know more about me, like, check out YouTube, or ask me, and that's it, because I want to spend as much time as possible on this topic. So I'm going to leave that out. We're not going to have the usual intro slide, but we do need to say, like, this is the setup that we need. So let's put that in there, and I'm going to pull this over onto my other screen, and then it'll be easier for me to reference as we keep going. So if there's something that I think is really important that everyone needs to see, I will pull it back over. But let's go here, and what we want to do is probably do it something like this. So let's grab that component. Let's grab that list component. This might be too small. Let me make this bigger for you all. So what we'll do is we're going to develop all this stuff here in just the index.js. If it starts to get too big, we can break these out into their own components and just pull in the components. But right now, what I want to do is grab this this slide, and I'm just going to bring it up here, and we're going to change some things. Prerequisites? No. How do I spell that? Wait, what are they telling me? Trailing space. So it's I still want to know how to spell that. Let's go over. Let's Google that. Prerequisites. Oh, nice. I did spell it right. Awesome. All right, cool. So we got prerequisites. Let's say node and npm. I'm gonna put those together because they usually are installed together. And node, let's say React. I'm gonna leave off Git because technically you could do all this without Git, but like I wouldn't. But it's not a necessary prerequisite. React. And I'm going to say React with Next.js. The reason I'm specifying Next.js is because of the server-side rendering. Technically, that's optional, but I mean, really, like, what site do you not want SEO for? And because if you want search engine optimization, like, you need the server-side rendering. And then WordPress. All right, so all of these here, I believe that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. So here's our prereqs for this, meaning these are things you already have to have like installed, set up, ready to go. We'll just double check. Yep, here's the prereqs. Node, npm, React. Awesome. All right, so slide 2 finished. We're starting to pick up the pace. It's nice. All right, so slide 2 is finished. Now, here's what we need to set to go through. We need to talk about our GraphQL queries. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make a couple of slides with just the heading so we know the topic, and that'll give us an idea of like, here's the slides we need to fill out, and then I'll make that end slide, and then we're good to just say like, all right, here, like, let's just fill these slides in. All right, so let's take this slide here with all the headings, and I just want to copy it for now and leave it because I do want to see the heading sizes. And heading 1, 2, 3. I'll go with the heading 1. We'll leave that heading 1. Can always change it if I think it's just too big. So we're going to go with that heading 1, and let's say for heading 1 we're going to say install WP GraphQL. And for the next slide, oops, did I? Heading size 1, size 6. Hold on a second. Okay, I didn't even notice that there when we changed the background. All right, let me get rid of that. Okay. For the next one, let's say let's go with set up Apollo. And for the next one, we will say GraphQL queries. And let's do the query component. So this is where we're going to talk about how to actually get the data into your components. We'll use that query component. Okay, and then we'll do one last slide, which will be deployment. Deployment, great. And the final slide will be another list. So let's grab this one again. And underneath this one, we're going to take this and we're going to say take it further. And here is where we're going to list the other things that could be done. So let's talk about things like custom post types. What were some of the things I said at the beginning? Let me say custom post types, cloud database and storage. And when I talk about this, I'll also talk about being able to host WordPress on places where you normally couldn't host WordPress. We can also talk about custom routing. And yeah, for now I'll just leave it at that. As I'll think of some, and then maybe later on I'll go back and watch the beginning of the video and see if there's anything I mentioned that I forget right now. Harshit says, will there be a live demo or code showing? Yeah, so I think I will try to do that, but I want to make sure the slides have enough information that if something goes wrong, I can still explain things properly. So as we fill in these steps, I want to try to include the really most important portions of the code. And at this point, I think we're safe to get rid of these demo components here. There we go. All right, cool. So I mean, right now, if you check that out, that's a little bit bigger than it could be, but it's not too bad. So I don't think there's a need right now to separate any of these out into components. If some of these start to get big, we will. But right now, I think we're still good. Let's just build that and double check to make sure everything looks all right. Let's go to the beginning. All right, still not that happy with how that looks, but I can mess with that later if I have time. That's good. The only thing I'm worried about with these are it looks kind of small. Hopefully everybody will be able to see that. Install WP GraphQL, set up Apollo, GraphQL query component, deployment. Take it further. Custom post types, cloud database storage, custom routing. All right, great. Excuse me. Cool. You know what I will do? I want to make sure I do this before I forget. I'm going to put, at the very least, my Twitter handle. So that people know how to get in touch with me. If I think about it and I have time, maybe I'll actually put icons so that if people see this presentation, they can click on icons to get to all my different things. But for now, I think that'll be okay. All right. So now let's actually build this project. We'll go through the steps of building the project. Hey, Dimitri's here. How's it going, Dimitri? Dimitri asks how I'm doing. Not too bad. Not too bad. Got up early, did some cardio, and scheduled this stream super early. So here's my new plan. I would like to schedule my live streams immediately at the beginning of the day, and then that way I have to do it. If I schedule a stream, I've made a promise that I'm going to do that stream, so I have to do it. If I wait, then it's so easy for me to get involved in doing all kind of stuff, get tired, don't feel like doing it, and then not schedule the stream. But if I do it right away, then it's like, all right, I'm locked in. I have to do it now. So that's my new plan. So this is day one of my new plan. Hopefully I can keep it going, although it is Friday, so it's possible I'll forget by Monday. I hope that doesn't happen. All right, cool. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's get in here. We'll start doing some code and make sure we take lots of screenshots and things. I guess probably we should make this a Git repo though first. Now that we've gotten to this point, so let's do a Git init, and there we go. So we've initialized the repo. We'll do how do we do this? Git status, just to make sure that nothing's being tracked that shouldn't be tracked. For this project, it's not really a big deal. Assets, index. All right, cool. Looks good. And So let's do git commit am, and let's just say init. What? Oh, git add git commit init. What? I can't spell. My spelling and typing has been terrible for the last few days. Like I keep messing up. Oh man, look at this. I don't know what's wrong with me, but like not just on the keyboard, but also on a phone. Like every time I have to type, I just can't. All right, awesome. That's there. Now we need to set up in GitHub a place for this as well. So let's do that. So let's go in here, and I think I can do it right from here. So let's do new repository, and the repository name is going to be the same as this. So let me copy, what did we call this? React WP GraphQL slides. Let me put this WP. I want to change this first before I commit. Let's say for MIDABLE. Okay, that's cool. Okay. And repository, I'm going to do the same name. There we go. And I'll put these in. Put this in. And I could probably give a better description than this, but right now I don't care to spend that much time on it. I'm not. So if you are pulling in an existing project, which we are, we don't want to do a README or git ignore license or any of that, right? And it says right here, skip if you're importing your existing repository. We can add this in later, right? But if we do that, we're going to get like a conflict right away. So we don't want that. And we do want this to be public. Great. Let's create the repo. Yay. That was fast. Fan Club says hi. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for watching. All right, so now that we have this, it gives you instructions right away. So it's pretty easy. We just need to do, we're going to push this repo. So let's go back to our command line here, and we can copy and paste that in. It automatically fills in the correct info. So this isn't just like generic sample code. This is particular to your project, which is awesome. And then we can do a git push. And as soon as this is finished, we will have all our projects up in GitHub. Almost done. Yes, awesome. So now if we go here, we can see here's all the stuff that we have, and here was our init, and this was our update to our package.json. Right now, our README still has all the stuff from the original README, which is okay for now. At some point, it'll be a good idea to come back and change all this to actually explain what this is. All right, and there's a few things in the live chat here, so I'm going to read some of this. Fan Club said, today's interesting fact, Hugh Jackman married a woman who is 15 years older than Hugh Jackman. That is an interesting fact. You don't often hear about that in Hollywood. Usually it's the other way around, and you usually see older men marrying younger women. So that's interesting. As an unrelated note, unrelated to coding, I've always found it interesting when you have marriages where one person is very different age than the other person. That has to be difficult once you get. I mean, I'm sure there's difficulties earlier on, just in terms of like culture, like saying like, "Hey, when I was a kid, you remember this thing," and the other one saying like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." But just when you get later on in life, one person may be at the point where they're retiring and getting ready to go, after retirement, like, maybe getting ready and needs to go to a nursing home, and the other one is definitely at a much different point in their life, like. That has to be tough. And it has to be tough for a spouse knowing that, like, realistically, I'm probably going to have to watch my spouse die because they're so much older. So that kind of got dark. I'm sorry about that. But I've wondered about that. My wife and I are only 3 months apart, age-wise. So she's 3 months older than me. So it's not, I don't really have that. But I have some uncles that have really big age gaps with their spouses. Hey, Michael Creel is here. It says better late than never. Yeah, no problem. I did an early stream today, earlier than normal, so don't worry about it. And Harshit's still looking for feedback on the new card component for the UI framework that he's making. So if you have a chance, please check that out. Give Harshit some feedback. All right, let's get into the next stage, which will be building this project. So where should we start? I guess we should just start with Next. Let's just set up the project with Next.js. Okay. So let's go back to our terminal and let's start up let's get out of here and let's make a directory. We'll call it React WP GraphQL demo. All right, cool. Nice. All right, and then let's cd into that. There we go. All right, so now we're in here. There's obviously nothing in here yet, which is expected. Let's go to Next documentation. Oops, I've been there more than once. I already have it there on my screen. And I'd like to see, obviously we've used Next several times on the Free Code Camp stream, so we've done this before, but I think it's always good to check and see if there's been any difference since the last time you used it in terms of setup. So we're going to do Next, React, and React DOM as the setup. Oh, wait a second. Harshit says, use the create next app with Apollo example. That will be quickest. Thank you, Harshit. That is awesome. do we have, let's see, where is that at? Open examples. Go into examples. With Apollo. Oh, awesome. Harshit, you save so much time. You are awesome. This is really great. Okay. Oh, and they even have it with yarn. Okay, so this is yarn create next app example with Apollo app. Awesome. Let's do that then. So let's do this. Is this gonna? Anyway, I was just worried for a second this is gonna make like a subfolder within my project, but hopefully it won't. So let's do it. This may take a little while since I'm streaming at the same time. Hopefully not that long. We'll see. Just gonna have to install everything. Oh no, I did it in the wrong terminal? Alright. Horseshit. You caught that so quickly. Thank you. You're right. We need to do it in this one. Alright, let's see what happened. Get status. Oh, it is gonna put it in its own folder. Untracked files. No. I don't want to track it. I want to get rid of it. There we go. Alright, now it's gone. And I really didn't want another folder inside my folder for this project, but I guess it's okay. Alright, so that's going to do its thing. And what? It's done? Are you serious? That's amazing. Alright, cool. So let's turn off this server, because this is going to try to run on 3000, right? Let's see if it'll run on a different port, and we could do them both at the same time. You can use instead with folder name in that command. Oh, so I could have done a different command to not have it be in the same folder. Alright, shoot. Let's just do this here in Finder. Let's see if it'll let me do this. I don't know if it will, but maybe. Yes. And delete. I can't even find it. It's easier to just use the shortcut. Okay. There we go. Got it all right there. Oh, okay. Harsh saying. So you don't do what I did. um, instead of having with Apollo app at the end here, I could have just put a dot, and it would have worked. So I mean, I went in and just manually moved the files around, which also works, but I could have saved some time. Okay, so we have our stuff here. Let's open this in Visual Studio Code. Let's get our view ready with our integrated terminal. Can you show me the terminal? Did I just not see it, or did it lag? Okay. Nope. I want this. There we go. Let's do yarn dev. Let's see if it gives me an error. Sometimes I can't remember if it's next or create React app, but if you try to run it, oh wait, it's working. How is it working? What did we run on this port? I thought that was 3000. Wasn't it? It is. Let's see what's gonna come up. Alright, you know what, let's just, for now, I'll just stop that, and we'll have this started. Whoa. No way. What is this? This is like a whole, little app. Awesome. Alright, so let's check out what we have here. Always love to check out a package.json file as soon as we get started. And let's see what we have. Follow next. Polo boost, GraphQL, isomorphic on fetch, obviously next and React, React Apollo. Cool. All right, awesome. Awesome. And if we do a git status, we can see this is not a Git repository yet. Awesome. So let's go in here and change some of this right now. Demo. All right, great. And let's check out what we have here. So our index page is doing nothing, pretty much. Nothing that we need to worry about for right now. Cool. So we have an about page. Let's check that out. See if we can, let's go to the about page and read it here as it was meant to be read. All right, we integrate Apollo seamlessly with Next. Awesome. Very cool. All right, wonderful. Let's check out our app. So here's just the basic setup. Index. So we've got header, submit, post list. Let's check out the post list component. All right, so here's what's going on. Oops, hold on a second. Harshit's saying they didn't update the sample app. No higher order component is used. They use the new app.js now. Okay, so the about page is not updated. Is that what you're saying, Harshit? Hey, it seems like an easy pull request is is there. It's an opportunity for an easy pull request. Um, let's see. Let's go through this just a bit. See what's happening here. Hmm. Interesting. They have their whole query right here. You know what I don't see them using here, maybe they're using it somewhere else, is that query component, which I was going to go over, but if we're not going to use it, oh yeah, that's right. They're using the older one, the older GraphQL component. So maybe maybe I can switch it up then. So, I mean, I'd like to leave as much as this as is reasonable to leave, but get it to a really basic point that we can have as our first branch. All right, so let's see. All right, what else do we have? Looks like the same. It's kind of the same way on everything here. I don't really expect them to be pulling data in on the header or the error. Did I post upvoter? Let's see. That's interesting. All right, so what do you think, Arship? Should we just try to convert this to use the new stuff, or should we start with just plain next and then add in Apollo on our own? Oh, I know there's a slight delay, so I'll give you a second. Just checking to make sure I don't have anything from work. Okay. All right. If I'm going to convert this neat, then the easiest way is going to be for me to, Harsh is saying, delete the component folder. Okay. Other stuff is fine. Okay, so if we delete the component folder and then open lib. All right, Harsh is saying open the init Apollo. The other option that we do have is we could make I don't know. I was going to say we could take what we're using for Project 5 and strip it down, but we have a lot going on in Project 5 that might be a little bit confusing as a demo. Okay, Harsh is saying the Apollo boilerplate's already set up here, so alright, so we just need to make it so that it's using the new stuff. So let me check where we're using some of the new stuff already. Do I have it open or not? I don't think I do. It's probably easiest just go to GitHub. Alright, so let's go in here to GitHub and let's check. Let's check out Franciscan React, and we'll just grab one of our components from the Franciscan React, and, or I should say, probably pages would be more appropriate. Let's grab our own page, and let's see, not our search. We may as well do faculty. We were in here this week doing some things, so pretty sure it's up to date. Yep, we're using that query. Wonderful. Alright, so let's just copy this and we'll paste it in, and then we will strip out what we need to strip out and use this as our example. So I wonder, we could probably make this our index. Yeah, let's just make it our index. And that was silly because I need to, the way I copied it in there was silly. Okay. Let's do it. We don't need any of this stuff, right? Maybe I'll keep app in there since, we're having everything wrapped in app. React from React. Great. Okay, so if we still want to wrap everything in app, we're not going to use this. Yeah, we're not going to need this head thing, and we're definitely going to take it out up here if we're bringing it in. So we don't want that. If we're going to have a query, we're going to lib queries. We're going to have to bring in that query. Yeah, we're going to get rid of layout, so we don't want layout. We'll maybe have to bring in that with root component and React Apollo. Okay. let's see. I'm going to change the name of this. So let's just say home. I guess that works. Let's see. We're going to get rid of this. Component did mount. Michael Crow says, no, not search. I know, after I was going to do search, and then for a second I was like, well, no, wait a second. We didn't even use GraphQL for that. All right, so we have this query, which is great. We'll keep the error thing. Let's not do any of this. Edges, node content. Well, I should say, let's not do any of this replace stuff. It's okay if we keep this content, and there we go. We can basically keep that as is, and then let's change our layout to app like it was in the index. And all right, let's see. There's definitely some stuff in here that we don't have that we need to bring in because it'll crash without that. So let's grab this with root, and let's grab that profile query. And then what do we have in lib? We don't have with data. All right, so let's grab those things from here. All right, let's see what we have in here. With data. And then in our queries, let's grab that. What query were we using here? Profile query. So with data, and then what about with root? Components with root. Styles. All right, this is all just for styles, so not really worried about that. Yeah, all styles. Okay. All right, so we're not going to pull this in because we're not using those styles. And so we're going to through with data. Okay. All right, so now let's pull in within lib, let's make a folder called queries. Within queries, let's make a file called, we're not going to call it profile. Let's call it data.js, or this will be posts. We'll call it posts because that'll be what we're actually grabbing. All right, so here's our query, and let's change all this to, instead of profile, we're going to change it to posts. And we're going to get rid of this whole faculty departments thing, because that's not going to be there. What will be there is this ID title slug content. Okay, and for the type, I guess I'll leave this in here just as an example of how you would get other post types. Nah, you know what? I don't want to overly complicate things because this is definitely going to be like for beginners. All right. So, and actually, now that I think about it, I don't think we're going to be able to. I'm going to be able to save at these various stages because I don't know. I think we're just going to have a finished project. Like it's going to be so simple since a lot of the steps were taken care of by using um, this like example project. Um, then it's just I don't know. I think we'll be fine. Does this work? Okay. So let's take out. Yeah, can we take out? I don't remember how we did this initially. Maybe I can look. These pages still have some basic queries, I think. Or was it the components? I think it was a component. Let's check out this post list, had a basic query, just so I can remember the syntax. Query, return GQL query output. No, I guess it's still using the same. We just don't need type here. We don't need this to be inside brackets. Yeah, that's right, because we made this a function, right? We don't need it to be a function. I remember we had some trouble at first trying to use variables in here with our template literals, so that's why we had to end up doing it like that. So I think post. It should be fine like this, I believe. We'll have to see. Let's try to open up this GraphQL. No, where is it? No. Is it this? Yeah. I just want to check out the schema for posts, what we need to put in there. And let's see. Oops. Posts. This be. Alright, maybe I'll say posts with an S. Okay. Alright, I have to do something for work really quick. So we have some money allocating issues. So they need some info from me so that they can pay for servers. So let me share this bit of info. And I gotta log into my work Slack for a second. All right, crisis averted. Now back to this. All right, let's see. So we have that now. Let's change it here. And what do we need? We don't need this part. So we really just need ID. There we go. Okay. And we don't need to return both of these. We just need to return ID. And let's make sure instead of profile query, we are using post query. And okay. Where's post? Harshit says I need to return an object. Alright. Okay. So I will return that as an object. Let's see if we need to change this anywhere else. Yeah, it needs to not be profile here. Post. Okay, wonderful. Alright, so what else do we need now? With data. So let's make this here. Let's say, what did we call that? Alright, it should be right here, huh? No, that's not what I wanted to name it. With data. Rename. There we go. And we'll go here and find with data. There we go. We use this. Okay. Now, we may not need this stuff. No, I don't think we will. So you won't need this. So let's delete that. Move to the trash. We won't need... Actually, what is this? App.js component. Oh, these are the styles. Alright, cool. So we'll leave that. We're not going to use their error message, or their header, or their post list, or submit, so we can delete all of those. Let's see, init Apollo, and I believe we also had something like that, right? Oh, Harshit says no need of with data. App does that now. Harshit says you deleted the most important file. All right, which files did I delete that were important? Because I just deleted a lot of stuff. These components. And net Apollo. Alright. Yeah, I'm a bit confused. Yeah, so Harshit, earlier you said to delete the entire components folder. And then I see that we have this this with Apollo client, but we replaced it though. So with data and with Apollo client, basically we're doing the same thing. I mean, I can get it back pretty easily. Do we still have it up here? Yeah. Alright, so we have this with Apollo client and then with data. Right, Apollo, net Apollo. Right, yeah, both of these files are doing similar things. Yeah, so I'm not sure which file then would be more up to date, the one we're using on project 5 or the one they're using in the example. Okay. So basically we don't need with data then because it's included in an app. But what I'm saying is if we just replace the references to with data, would that be the same? Or is there something significantly different in this file? What was this one called? With Apollo clients. Okay. I thought we were using that too with this one. Or maybe it's maybe it was with our other project. Oh, we're using the underscore document. That's it. Okay. Alright, my fault. I thought we were using underscore app. So that was the main source of my confusion is if it works with our project, why doesn't it work? Okay. Alright, so let's bring back this file and get rid of with data. And then we'll have to edit the index component so that it will work. in the new way. So let's pull this in. Okay, and then let's add it in here. We'll create a new file with client.js, and we'll paste that in. So now we're good to go, and we should be able to delete this. Okay. So that file's there. Now the question is, how do we need to change this file so that it works? So let's check out how they were doing it. So we'll go back to with Apollo, and we'll see they weren't making any use of it in their index file, but they were here, like let's say in the post list. Apollo, GraphQL tag, error message. Stop post list. Okay, so they actually weren't doing anything. Export default. Interesting. Huh. Okay. So I suppose we don't need any of this. So then we wouldn't need compose here at all, since we don't need with data. So I suppose everything we need would then be available to us because of this underscore app.js. Okay. All right. Well, that's nice. That's one less thing that we have to worry about in terms of changes. All right. So, all right, we got sidetracked. So let me make sure we edited this component. We edited our query. So we're pointed to the right place in terms of that. Oh, you know what our problem is? We were getting grabbing the ID for a post, right, from our router. So we were sending that data from our custom router, but we're not running any type of custom router right now. So I just got to make a decision. Do we want to go so far in this demo as to show how you can get individual posts with the custom routing, or is that too ambitious for the time allotted? Should we just show how we can pull in like a certain number of posts and that's it? Let's start with that, and then we can add on. So what we'll do then is we're not going to do any of this. Okay. What we're going to do though is still keep this query, and instead of trying to get a particular post, we'll just get posts, just posts in general. So let me go back and see if we're doing that already in this project and how we're doing that. So faculty list, I believe, if anything's doing it, it would be that. Now, are we actually getting the ID and type? I guess we are. And let's check out the query though, just to be sure. Wow, Nikki says apparently Visa is down right now. Like Visa, like the credit card, like the whole thing. That's a big deal. Alright, let's go into our lib folder and then queries, and let's look up that faculty list. And we'll also look at directories because I believe that's going to display, supposed to display a lot more. Alright, so our faculty list query, faculty departments. Interesting. Okay. Let's grab our... Let's check out our query here. Let's test our query. Yeah, let's test it. Oh, Michael, said maybe that's why my work was having billing issues. Yeah, that's possible. I mean, hopefully they're getting everything sorted out. Actually, I should check my phone and make sure they are. Let's check. All right, it looks like it's okay. So, okay, so it's a network across the UK and Europe. All right, so it should be okay here in the US. All right, let me. Oh, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to test this out here. Oops. I don't want where. I just want posts. Just posts. Query posts. Let's see if this works. Hmm. Pages. What do I need? Michael says, "Are you going to be pulling FUS data?" I'll make a. I'll create a database just for this demo. But for now, I'm just going to pull from that WP. It says you don't have a post field in your GraphQL database. Do I not have a post field? Maybe post. I thought I did. Yeah, I do post. Posts. Yeah, posts, edges, node, right? So it should be its own. I mean, for WordPress, there's a default post type of post. So that's what I'm trying to pull from, because anybody that has WordPress will have that by default. They won't have to make a custom type. I'm just wondering how I need to format this. I'm assuming that post is a reserved word. GraphQL. I'm assuming that they'll have an example of just a really basic query to use. So let's check that out. Okay. Alright, we'll check the docs. Alright, so queries, posts, edges, no, okay. This should work, right? There we go. ID, title, date, content. Cool. So I only have one post, and here it is. ID, title, date, content. Great. Alright, cool. So that works. So let's get rid of... I mean, can I just do this? Will this work for me? Let's see. Okay. Alright, cool. I figured it was something with the syntax. Alright, so that's pretty basic. That should be especially be good for beginners because we're not grabbing a ton of data. It's pretty straightforward, and we don't have that extra stuff at the top that really don't need for this. And then also we're going to need to change this a bit because, right, we want it to return not just this content, right? But we'd like it to return, to map over everything, right? So let's grab, so we don't reinvent this, since we've done this somewhat recently over here, let's just grab it from here. I see it. Don't worry about it, Michael. It's cool. I appreciate, so like, I really appreciate when you all in the stream take like strong opinions against what I'm doing. Most of the time you're right and I'm wrong. Like a very small amount of the time I happen to be right. But I love that you all do that because it helps make me better, right? It stops me from making mistakes, and like it forces me to stop what I'm doing and say, okay, maybe I don't know what's going on here. Let me think about it, right? So that's totally fine. Keep doing that. Alright, so what do I need? Pages, and we need to go to that faculty list page. So this is somewhat recent addition. At least we were working on it somewhat recently. So what we get here is really similar to what we're already doing, but I'm just going to pull this and yeah, that's it. I'm going to pull this out of here, and we're going to use this to help us with our data. So we're going to pull this out, and we're going to put this inside of a div. Oops. Right, and we're going to paste this in here. Okay, now obviously we're going to change this up a bit, right? So we're not going to have, let's see what we can do with this. I guess to keep it just really, really simple, we could make this div a UL, and we can pull out this, let's just make this grid an LI, and let's pull out some of the stuff that we don't need. We do need the key, right? So we're going to redo, and instead of saying faculty data map, we're going to say content map, and then within here, what will this end up being? Oh, we can make it whatever we want, right? Yes. So we can say post, and within this li, we're just going to have this is just going to be, let's say, an H3. And we're going to set it to use, let's see, let's go with a P tag here. And let's do the dangerously set inner HTML, which I might still have up here somewhere. Nope, and I don't need that. And I don't need that. And what is this? Oh, this is the next one. I don't need this. Alright, so I will have to look, I suppose. Alright, so I know we were just using this in that faculty page, right? I always mess up the syntax, so that's why I'm just going to copy and paste. I mean, if I use it like really regularly, then I'm sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. If I use this regularly, I can kind of get it right sometimes, but a lot of times I just mess it up. Alright, so we got that, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to use it here and here. And content. Yeah, so we need post node content, right? And props type. Whoa, I gotta take a step back. I'm messing some of this stuff up in here. Alright, so here we have set faculty data to data faculty departments dot edges dot node dot faculty dot edges dot node faculty edges. So then we go faculty node slug. Okay, so if we want to keep this structure, then it does need to go all the way down to there. But if we want to keep this structure, oh, I see what we did. Data, and we don't need this because we're not going to have a props type. We're not going to have type, so that's not going to exist. So this needs to be. Let's check it out here to make sure. Data posts. Posts edges, and then within edges it's going to loop over the posts, so we need node. And then we don't want content right off the bat, right? So we want to be able to say content.map, and we want this to say post, right? So we're going to say post, oh, I'm sorry, posts.map, and then we're going to map, and each one will be a post. So we'll have post, which will already be, no, we don't want node either, we just want edges, because each one is going to be a node. So we need post node slug, there we go, post node content, and we're going to have post node title, that's what we're actually going to have here. And then for this, the P, that's where we're going to have post node content. There we go. And I'm not going to worry about having a link to anything because those links will not work for the demo, you know, and unless I decide to do some more work on the demo. Okay. So let's double check. So we have the UL outside of everything. Within here we have our LI, and within the LIs we have our H3 and our P tag. We have a title, we have content, and we are actually getting title and content here. We're also getting date. We're not using date. One thing we do have here that we're not pulling in is the slug. So we can pull in the slug, and we should, otherwise it won't be available. Okay. Alright, that is looking better. That's looking a lot better. Okay, so results. So query. We're going to post query, but we don't need to pass it anything. Right? That's right. We don't need to pass anything to this post query. And is our post query... I don't believe that we needed to do it. Before, our queries in our other project were actually functions, but it's not now, right? So let's try like that. And then we don't have variables. So we don't need the variable either. All right, wonderful. Wonderful. We are getting somewhere. All right, so let's save that. I have very little confidence that this will work as is because we changed so many things without testing it. But the problem was, like, we had to change all those things to get it to work. At no point would it have been expected to work. So let's probably just gonna go see what error message we have. I guess I could make sure that I've saved these, and let's check it out. About still works. Can't resolve lib queries post. And oh, okay. Let's see if we have it in the right place. And because it's not post, it is posts lowercase. You know what? I think I accidentally selected that with my multiple cursors. So, all right, that was a good error to get. All right, argument of undefined past the parser was not a valid GraphQL document node. You may need to use GraphQL tag or the method converts your operation to a document. All right, I've never seen this one. Let's check it out. Convert your operation into a document. Let's see. Can I get... I'm trying to see if I can get some hint as to where to look. All right. It's not a valid GraphQL document node. Okay. Let's see. GraphQL tag or another method to convert your operation into a document. Export const post query. Okay, Michael has an idea of updating the package JSON to the latest version of Apollo, since we are using new Apollo stuff. So that's a great idea. Let's check it out and compare it to the version that we are using on our project. Let's go back here to our package JSON. And wow, we are using some other stuff here. Apollo client, Apollo. So we're using, yeah, we're definitely using some other stuff. React Apollo 210. React Apollo 210. Okay, so that's the same. What else do we have? Apollo Boost. Okay, so we have in here Apollo Client, Apollo Link HTTP, Apollo Cache in memory. So, I mean, maybe we can try bringing this over. I mean, Apollo itself is working. Let me check this again. So we do have, you may need to use GraphQL tag or another method to convert your operation. So we are import GraphQL from GraphQL tag. So we are doing that, right? So perhaps our import method is not correct. Just with whatever they're using. So let's see how they do this here. Import GQL from GraphQL tag. That's exactly what we're doing, right? Let's see. Import. Yeah. I wonder if we could simplify things. If we do something like this. Like how, how they've done it here. Let's see. Oh, are they actually exporting this? Hmm. I was thinking not quite doing it like that, but more like just kind of throwing it in there like this. So it'd have something, something like this in there, you know. Post query is not defined. Oh, of course it's not defined because we're using posts query. You know what? Maybe that was our problem the whole time. It's possible. Cannot query field posts on type query. Did you mean post or all posts? Posts, if you meant to render a collection of children, use an array instead at index.js 30. In query index.js 25. Alright, what did I do? And this is saying 25. Query post queries returning. Alright, let's see. That's weird because this worked. This just worked, right? Yeah, we just ran this and it worked. Okay. So that did work. Let's try. see how they did theirs. Query all posts. All posts. You're right. Michael, you're entirely right. Ah, man. Forgot that. So when we got sidetracked with the files that were being deleted, I had lost my train of thought and totally forgot. There's one more file that we need to edit. At least one more. So let's find it. So we are searching for this data, and we are searching in the wrong place. Probably in Apollo. There we are. So we need to put in our WordPress URL, which for right now will be this, and it will change once I make a demo. Great. I'm going to try it with the credentials like this. It might not work though. Let's see what we get. Alright, still not working. There we go. Post.map is not a function. Post.map is not a function. Alright, so different error, which is progress. Where we at? There we go. Const posts. Post.map. So let's see what we should get back. Yeah, we should be able to map because that should return an array. Edges. You know what? No, it's not, because we're doing edges 0 and we just want edges, right? Edges 0 would just return this one, just this first one. Yay! It worked. Yes. Alright, cool. Not only that, but we simplified things as well. So we can just completely delete this whole queries folder. So I mean, I like to have it organized like that, but when we're trying to go for simplicity here, and you know, we're doing this for beginners. So if they can do this and not have to create another folder with a file in it, it's better, right? So this is good. All right, wonderful. Great. Let's make this just a bit more presentable then, and let's make the first li say let's put an h2 inside here, and let's make it say posts. See, and let's go ahead on this UL and have it say what is it, style we can say, wait, can we do this? Why do I always forget syntax? Let's see if we're doing it here anywhere. We're not, are we? Yeah, actually, Michael, thank you for that, because I mean that was the key. That was really the key to getting that to work. Um, I just want to find out where I'm doing inline styles. Let's see here. I bet I'm doing it here. Not class name. I want. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't do any inline styles in here. All right then. Can I do that? Isn't that's it, right? That's the syntax. I think so. I just want to do text decoration. None. So simple. No, not that. List. Dang it. What is it? List style? Is it list style or list style type? I guess I'll find out in a second. No. Did I not close my LI? I didn't. Oop. LI. Alright. I've been streaming for over 2 hours now, so I'm starting to get sloppy, I think. Let's see. None is not defined because I didn't put it in. I'm getting all backwards here. Okay. Alright. Pretty sure it's going to be list style type. Oh, maybe I can't just do it like that. John says, where's the Pomodoro timer when you need one? Yeah, I should have been setting Pomodoro's mapping style properties values, not string. That's why. Dang it. Yeah, I need to be done with this and take a break. As I'm forgetting the smallest little things that we work on all the time. Yeah, Harshit, GraphQL is working. Yep. With a little help, get it to work. Alright, let's see. No, what is it doing? Alright, it's still showing me an object, like it's not working. So it told me to do it like that. G Fuel, yeah, that's true. I didn't have any G Fuel today. That's my problem. That's got to be it. I need my G Fuel and I need my theanine pill, and then I could have been focused. We could have gotten this done in half the time if I would have had that. All right. You know what? Forget these styles. Just forget these styles, right? How about this? How about that? And then, where's our styles page at? I know we got it somewhere. There we go. There's our global styles. Oh, I didn't realize that I could use this. Alright, anyway, it doesn't matter. This is a nice global style to use anyway. What did I call it? No bullet. Now, I hope it really is list out type. Let's make sure this is saved. Alright, so do have class, no bullet. Seriously. Can I do that? Oh, I could just do list style none. Wonderful. Where's my thing at here? List style none. Oh, you're right. The colon. Yes, thank you. Michael, again, awesome. Yeah. Gotta remember I'm switching back to regular CSS style. Yes, did it work? Alright, I gotta refresh just to be sure. Yes, it works. Okay, awesome. So all I really need to do to make this work better for the demo, like, this is fine. I don't really need to add styles. Like, my talk isn't teaching people how to make things look pretty. It's just teaching them how to set this up to work. So what I need to do is just take maybe an existing demo WordPress installation, because I'm pretty sure I have some existing ones that are just sitting around on some shared hosting somewhere. Either that or I'll just make a new one. Not really a big deal. Then I'll install the WP GraphQL plugin on there, which is also very simple. And I'll just add a few posts, and I'll replace the URL here in our, what file did we do that in? In our init apollo.js file. So we'll just replace it with that demo URL. Everything should then work, and that's it. So obviously couldn't really do that fully in like a 30-minute talk. Although now that we've done it and rehearsed it once, like, maybe I'll time myself. There's a good possibility that we could actually get this all working in 30 minutes, like assuming that I already had everything downloaded in case the Wi-Fi is bad. Yeah. I mean, it would definitely be a lot of copy and paste work. I wouldn't try to like type it all out, right? I mean, who types everything out anyway? So I'll think about it, but I think basically, let's see. Let's go back here to our slides, and let's see. Install GraphQL. I'll still need to do this and maybe explain it. What are you looking for? In my backpack in the outer pocket. Sorry, my wife was asking me a question. Set up Apollo, which really the only thing that we need to do to set up Apollo, if we're starting from that boilerplate, is to put in the right URL. Then we do the GraphQL queries, and then we show the query component. So all of this, I think, could potentially just be screenshotted from what we did today, and then I could just explain it. Deployment, that's the part that we didn't do, but deployment could most definitely be done with now. Yeah, that could work. Okay, that's cool. I'm not going to fill out the rest of this on the stream because I've been streaming for a really long time. But I'm just going to tell you basically what I'm going to do for most of these slides is just screenshot what I've done. And if I have time and if people are interested, I can actually show the code in my editor or on what is it? On GitHub. But yeah, so for each of these, that's basically what I'm going to do. I think that'll be the fastest at this point, and it'll be the least likely to have errors. I did want to think about actually like typing out and having the text formatted in here, so it's like copy and pasteable, which I still think is a good idea. I'm just not confident I can get it done and error-free in the amount of time that I have. So that may be like something I do afterwards. But if I screenshot it, guaranteed I'm not going to mistype something, right? All right, sorry about the mic. I forgot that this mic's actually working today. Okay. Was there anything else that I wanted to accomplish today that we have not accomplished? I think we've done what we set out to do. So, all right. So I think I'm going to wrap things up. I think 2 hours and 30 minutes is definitely, a decent stream. And so this is a good stream to end the week. So I will be giving this talk tomorrow at Pittsburgh Tech Fest. I will say this, if you were planning on preparing for a talk, probably not a great idea to wait till the day before. The reason I was pretty confident in being able to wait till the day before was because we've been working on this exact stuff every single day since January. So I was pretty confident that I could talk to people about it. So that's why I kind of procrastinated and waited on it. Otherwise, like, you would definitely want to practice it and like actually practice your talk in front of people. Since I've been spending like literally over 100 hours talking to you all about it, I felt confident that I didn't need to like rehearse it that much. Not only that, but I've given similar presentations, not quite as technical, to various groups around campus where I work. So essentially, I have practiced it. But just if you're not used to giving presentations like this, you definitely want to give yourself more time to rehearse, practice in front of an audience, time yourself. So yeah, that would be my advice. Yeah, that's it. So it doesn't look like anybody has any questions. Let me check really quickly. I don't remember seeing anything. John says, have two versions of the repos, one you build in the talk and one that works so you have a working version in the end. That's a good idea. So this one that we just did will be our working version. And then if I decide that I do have enough time to actually build something during the talk, then I'll start a new repo. I'll probably do the repo beforehand. I mean, really, now I'm thinking that I might be able to actually code this thing in a half an hour. All right. Maybe if anybody is either watching now or watching the recording later before I give this talk tomorrow, and you have any advice for me whether I should attempt to code this thing or not, then let me know. Let me know what you think. Normally, trying to live code stuff during a talk is a bad idea, but I like that's what we do, right? Like we're always live coding on the stream, so I think I have enough practice that I might be able to do it. I mean, like this has been over a year of practice at it, so now I'm seriously thinking about it. Maybe I'll have to give it a try. Maybe later on, after I've gotten something to eat and some G Fuel, and I'll time myself and see how fast I can actually build this. Uh, yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, I may try that. Also, I'm gonna try my best to make sure that if I am allowed, this talk will be live streamed or recorded or somehow it'll be available. Okay. Um, hey, Anna's here. How's it going? I didn't know you were watching. Um, anyway, yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. If you happen to be in Pittsburgh, you know, stop by at the conference if you can. I don't think they're selling tickets though anymore, but if you're going to be around in Pittsburgh tomorrow, let me know. Send me a message or something. I'll be up there, so we could definitely meet and hang out. Um, so even if you're not going to go to the conference, it would still be cool to hang out. I don't remember what time the conference is till, but I'd be willing to hang out for a little bit. Um, you probably it'll probably be after the conference because it starts pretty early. Um, anyway, I'm gonna end the stream now. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all your help. I really there were definitely some key moments where your help was crucial, and it I maybe would figure it out eventually, but it probably would have taken a long time. So I really appreciate that, and I will see you all on Monday. And let's finally get this Project 5 wrapped up and launched, right? It's been too long. It needs to be done. But until then, have a great weekend.